Hi there, today I'm going to be working with the Elle Studio July 2016 exclusive kit, and I just want to give you a chance to see the entire kit before I start creating the layout. So we have quite a few smaller tags, which I find that these are really great for making embellishments on my page. I love this camera icon in the kit this month. There's also a piece of wood veneer that's like that. There are so many different colors in the kit this month. I just love how you can find so many different colors in the same kit to create different layouts that look completely different. Here are the 3" by 4" tags. These are perfect for layouts or project life. I love the lemon card. I also love that there are some cards that incorporate all of the colors from the kit. This memo card is fun too. Navy is one of my favorites, so it's awesome to see navy this month. And here are the 4" by 6" cards. This one, this yellow one, so awesome, is my favorite, and it really looks like it's been stamped on. So there's the kit. So now I'm going to show you my inspiration for this layout I'm going to create. This was a layout I created about 2 years ago about all the things that my daughter loves. About a year and a half ago probably. And this was created from an Elle Studio kit as well. And so I'm going to take the same kind of idea and use the current kit to create a similar page about what my daughter loves right now. So the reason that I decided to do this particular kind of layout about my daughter's favorites is that this month there is this really adorable pie chart acrylic piece as one of the add-ons to the kit. And you could see in the kit that there is one tag that has the pie chart as well. So I've got this pie chart and I've selected a couple of papers from the Sunny Days collection. I love that red kind of, I don't know what you would call it, kind of a chevron stripe. I'm not sure what that's called, but I wanted to pair it up with this teal color, and to get that teal color I just cut a stripe from this ocean paper. It's the Soak Up the Sun paper. And here's the entire piece of red so that you can see what it looks like. And I love the back, it's like a cut apart sheet. So I love the combination of those two. I just think they look really clean and crisp together. So what I've done is I've printed out my photos in squares at either 2" or 3". This largest one is 3". And all I've done is that once I had the square, I just used my circle cutter. You could also use a punch, and punched the circles from the squares. So I didn't have to do anything fancy there. And all I did was back them with white cardstock. So these are my daughter's favorite things right now, and I'm just going to arrange them according to the pie chart. This is another add-on this month. It's the favorite acrylic, which I think the font is just really fun and playful, and so I definitely wanted to use that. And I have a couple of other tags from the kit. This is the best tag, and the navy blue one says loving this right now, so definitely appropriate to what I am documenting on this layout. So that's going to be my general setup for my layout here. I just want those photos to be kind of arranged in a cloud around my pie chart. And these teal alphas match the teal paper perfectly, so I'm going to go ahead and use those as well for my title. The title is going to be Lizzy's Favorite Things. So I'm just going to go ahead and spell out things down here. I love that there are so many different colors in these alphas now. Elle has come out with quite a few, and I can always find a color to work with the layout that I'm creating, and I love that. So for the first word of my title, Lizzy, I've pulled out a few different alphas. The Jonah, which is quite modern, the Marie, which I think is a bit too whimsical, and the Jordan outline, which I really like. So I'm kind of choosing between the two of these. I want it to be straight because the word favorite is quite whimsical and kind of a cursive font, and that's why I decided to do something a bit different than that and put the Marie alpha down. So I'm just going to make sure that one of these is going to fit in here. Just kind of moving things around just a tiny bit to see if I can fit the Jordan alphabet outline. That's one thing I love about acrylic stamps, is that you can kind of put them on whatever you're going to stamp on to see if they will fit. I'm also going to just do a little practice run before I go ahead and stamp on there. So I pulled out Watermelon Wonder, which I find is the ink that works really well with the red color in my Elle Studio products. And I'm just making sure my alphas are straight here. And I just have a practice piece of paper here. I'm gonna have a go at making sure the letters, sorry, are straight. And that looks pretty good to me. So I'm just going to put a pencil mark where I need the actual word to go. Since I have the word favorite here, I want to make sure that I give that enough space. And I'm just going to grab my ruler to make sure that I stamp it straight on the page as well. So my ink is really, really wet. I'm just going to try to press this lightly, and I'm just going to make sure that I'm putting it in the right spot before I go ahead and do it. I had just a tiny bit of ink transfer from the negative space in my acrylic onto my layout, but it's going to be just fine. I don't get bothered about things like that because stamping is just a bit imperfect sometimes. And then I'm just going to finish the end of the word, ZY, and I left a little space in between the Y and the S so I could stamp an apostrophe. I love when manufacturers give you punctuation on your alpha stamps. It really frustrates me when I don't have an apostrophe in alpha stickers or stamps. On this one there are quotation stamps, and those are quite easy to just use that and just ink up one part of the quotation to make an apostrophe. So I've got my general design for my layout down. I'm going to go ahead and show you how I'm going to print my journaling on the background of the page. First, I'm going to take off the acrylic. And I'm not going to adhere my papers down to my background cardstock yet, but I am going to adhere them to each other just because they'll be easier to put on that way after all my journaling's on. And so now I'm going to take out my removable adhesive so I can adhere everything down. Because I'm going to actually scan the layout without the acrylic, just so that I can place everything where it needs to be placed. And then I'm just going to put my pie chart back on here just to make sure that I have everything laid out the way I need it to be, because I'm going to attach my pie pieces with actual stitched lines. So I want to make sure that I have my photos in a place where I can connect them to the pie chart with lines. So I think this pancake one needs to come up a little bit more because I'm planning to put a little bit more journaling above my title. And that's it. Now I'm going to go ahead and take off my acrylic and scan the page in my scanner. So I've scanned my page and I've opened the JPEG image, and I just want to show you, I'm doing this in Photoshop Elements, how easy it is to add your journaling. So I'm going to just type a bit of a subtitle here just so I know these are her favorites at this age. So I'm going to type that and just place it right above my title. And I'm just going to pull that down close to my title. Make it a tiny bit bigger. Pancakes, trips to the beach, flights to see family, that sort of thing. And then I'm going to go through my layout and just put little captions under the photos as to the things that are her favorites right now. weekly writing lessons. And so as soon as I have that the way that I want it to be, and I'm keeping in mind that I'm going to be drawing lines to my photos, um, I am going to go ahead and take out my page from the scanner, take everything off so that I could run it through my printer. So here's the page that I scanned, and I am taking everything off because I used non-permanent adhesive. And those alphas are thin enough that they can run through my printer. And I'm just going to go ahead and run this through my printer. So before you go to print the page, you want to make sure you hide the background, because if you don't hide the background, then it's going to print your pattern papers and your photos. So you want to go ahead and hide the background just so that all you have showing are your words, your journaling. And when you do this, you want to make sure that there is no bleed or border. Some printers call it different things, so that it actually prints true to this size. So here's my page with the printed journaling. I'm going to go ahead and use permanent adhesive this time to adhere everything down to the page. I want to use a dimensional adhesive on my photos, but before I adhere them to the page, I'm going to go ahead and sew on the background because I don't want to be sewing around my popped up photos. So what I'm going to do is another step. I'm going to go ahead and place them where I want them to go on the layout, just like before, and just draw a really fine circle around their placement with pencil, just so that when I run it through my sewing machine, I can see where the photos are actually going to be placed. Okay, so I have the lines around my photos, and I want to make sure that I know where my straight lines are going from my pie chart pieces. So I'm just going to draw lines around where the pie pieces are, just so I know where to draw the straight lines from. And I'm going to go ahead and take everything off and grab my sewing machine. So the best part about this is that I want it to be a bit wonky. I want it to be kind of playful, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm also doing white thread on a white background. So it's kind of a low-key stitching. And I'm not great at stitching in circles, but like I said, it's going to be quite imperfect. But I'm just kind of loosely following along the line that I've drawn, which was my photo. And I'm going to go around each circle 2 times. Once I have all of my circles drawn, I'm going to go ahead and draw my straight lines from the edge of the pie chart out to my circle. Sort of the leading line from the pie piece out to the photo. Okay, so all my stitch lines are there, and I've cleaned up the back side by just adhering down the loose threads with tape. And I'm just going to go through with a gum eraser and erase my really light pencil lines here. Instead of using my hands, I'm going to grab this architectural draftsman's brush. It helps to make sure you don't smudge anything on your layout, especially when you have stamping on your layout. A lot of times if you wipe your hands across it for a few minutes, you can smudge it. So I like to use this brush when I remember to do it. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and adhere all of my circular photos to the layout in the middle of where I stitched the circles. Next, I'm going to grab my liquid adhesive and my pie chart pieces and just go ahead and adhere those to the page. I find that clear liquid adhesive works the best when adhering down acrylic. And I'm just making sure the lines that I've stitched match up to where I'm placing the pie pieces. Okay, down here with my title, I'm going to have to move my word things down a bit, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere the favorite acrylic to my page as well. Now this white heart is part of the July 2016 cut file, and I had it cut out from a different layout, and I just keep the pieces that are cut out, so that works really great right in the middle of the pie chart there. And these are the vellum hearts, which were an add-on this month. So I'm just going to place these little stars and hearts around the page. And lastly, I want to add the date to the page just so I know what day it was that I recorded her favorite things. So maybe I can do it again in another couple of years and compare the then to the now. I love the fun and playful mix of the different colorful papers and acrylics along with the stitching on this layout, and I love that I can compare it to my daughter's favorites from a couple of years ago. All of the products used on this layout are linked up through the video information. Be sure to check out Elle Studio kits every month. They are so great for getting your stories told. Follow my feed on YouTube for future videos, and as always, happy creating!